never stop. There's each relationship you have to dissipate. Their best lines are, what do you want out of this relationship? It's a very tough question. Not for me. I go, I'm still on the first part. I haven't gotten to that part yet.
That's good.
How do I know what I want out of a relationship? I haven't fucked you yet.
I came up with that yesterday. I was just thinking about, what would I say if she asked me?
I haven't gotten to that.
Like, well, are you in love with me? I said, well, I don't know. I haven't had sex with you.
I'm in lust with you.
That's good. Yeah. I'd say I never fall in love with a woman until I've had sex.
I gotta tell you something. I said to, and this is the truth. This is how you're gonna know if I'm on it, if the guy's honest or not. I told, other than my mother, 2 women in my life that I loved them, and I married both of them. I never would say I love you and I'm fucking them just because they want to hear it. No. I tell a lot of them, I'm in lust with you. You're hot. Do you love me? Before I come, I could say anything. You want to ask that question 20 minutes from now? It's the truth. You can't, you have to remember the lies. I'm giving you too much to remember. Tell them the truth.
Sure, the less you lie, the more you tell the truth, the less you have to remember.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. You don't have to have a rocket science memory. And you heard me, I don't remember your name, I'm sorry. I never make a date where she's going to be able to say, you were late. Comes to structure, MO. If I say to her, let's go out Friday night, she says, what time are you going to be by? I tell her, you know what? I would never insult you by being late, so before I leave the house, I'll give you a call that I'm on my way. I'm never late. They love to say you were late. You have a fucking car accident. What the fuck? You were late. You were late. You don't want to be late. No, I'm not going to be late because I'll call you. And not only that, keeps them on their toes. It accomplishes a lot more than the one thing you think it accomplishes.
I see they're always thinking about you, waiting for your call. Yeah.
I'm so excited to see you tonight that if I gave you a time, I'd kill myself if I wasn't on time. So I'll call you before I leave.
How do you say stuff like that?
Stuff like that, yeah. You want to be romantic. I don't, listen, I got to tell you something. I have a friend, Harvey. He cheats on his wife more than any guy I know. And I have another friend, DJ. And I developed something for these guys because they can't approach women. It's like when I would talk on the phone, convince this girl that I would be Clifford and get her to, I would do something else. They'd go on one of those telephone things and I talked to her for a while and I could make up a fantasy and I would tell them, see, I'd live off their what's your fantasy like? They tell me their fantasy, mine's almost the same. Not close, but and I would tell them that I want to come over, if they're the right woman for me, adventurous, willing to try something really offbeat, lie on your bed, when I ring the doorbell, open the door, leave it open, I want you in the sexiest position with your ass up in the air, and I'll kiss your pussy before I kiss your lips. And I send my friend Harvey over to the house, or DJ. They don't know, and he says to me, my friend Harvey's totally bald. He shaves his head. So she says to him when he gets there, and I forgot, she asked me what I look like, and I said, I got brown hair. She says, I thought you said you had brown hair, and he goes, oh, I've always been bald. This is all he goes, what happened? I go, well, okay, I can't remember all his details. He still fucked her. Would I get naked in bed, leave my door unlocked for some broad to come up and jump on top of me. Never. They do that. Yeah, that's, I don't even know what the girl looks like and I'm never going to meet her.
How many of the women you, since you've been with so many, if you were to say something like, did you know that, I know that every woman has a fantasy of being tied up. How true would that be, would you find? You know the kind of thing that you can say that women will go, wow, he knows so much about me. And
No,
you know
you
this
see,
just as a guy.
you see, I would never say that. I would probably say something like this, which I've done before. I go, do you ever think you'd like to tie me to bed and take advantage of me? And they go, yeah. I go, well, I'd never let you do that, but I'm going to do it to you. Okay? See, that's the kind of questions I ask them. I would never, especially after I saw that Seinfeld episode with George. You ever see that one where...
Which one is it?
Where he goes in this room with this girl. He bought this brand new suit. She thought he was rich because he bought this brand new suit. She ties him into the bed, and he has no money, so she takes his suit, leaves him tied to the bed. Forget about it. But yeah. Break? Let's go for a little break here. Okay, we'll start with eye contact, because he mentioned it first.
That's part of it anyway.
Eye contact is always very important. You look at them always. You have nothing to fear. You don't want anything from them, unless you do, unless you want to rape them or you want to steal their money. But you look at them right on the face and you make sure they know where you're looking at. They know. I do stuff like that. And I don't care. If they say, what are you looking at? It's perfect. Because then I know they know what I'm looking at, and I know they know, then I've gotten my confirmation. That's what I really want. And it's always good to, after you've looked at them, and you're intimidating them with your eyes. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to look them square on the face. And as you look at them, smile. It'll bring their smile out. You're leading. You're always in control. Now, to be in control, you have to have control. To have control, you have to be in control. It's very simple. You have to always be on. Don't be afraid. Like, you see, again, if you're afraid to look at them and you're talking to them and you're looking there and you're looking there and you're looking there, they lose that confidence in you. Mm-hmm. They lose that security. They lose that. Women have always told me, I feel so safe when I'm with you. Like if I was in that building in the trade towers, and a woman was with me, she would be no safer with me or without me. But it's her illusion she's building in her mind. And when she asks me about me, now, remember one thing. If you ask me to give a recommendation on you or you or you or you, you've got to take a chance. But if I'm giving a recommendation about myself, I'm going to give the best fucking recommendation I can. She says, what kind of guy are you? I go, I'm fantastic. I'm the greatest guy I know. Why not? No, I'm a dumb prick who can't pick up a girl, and I feel really down on myself today. Hello? They're going to want you to talk to you again after that. You're giving a recommendation on yourself. Show confidence. Say, yeah. I tell them like this, I think I'm the nicest guy I know. I've evolved into the kind of guy I wanted to be. And I really like myself. If I had a cunt and a dick, I wouldn't need nobody else. What's wrong with that? You have to feel good. And you are the most important person in a relationship. And when you tell them you are, they respect that. They all want a guy who is confident, secure in his own masculinity. There's nothing I can think of that I can't use to approach a woman. Let's talk for a while and pretend we're gay, because I'm trying to figure out if that woman wants a gay guy or not. What's the difference what you say to somebody? It's a facade, it's an act. That's what TV's all about, actors. You're doing the best thing. Look at the girl, whatever you think, tell her. The days of a girl slapping you and calling the police, you're not into that kind of stuff. You're not going to say, I would like to kill you and rape you. Or, yeah, I rape your dead body. Or, well, should I rape you first, then kill you? I can't decide. I'm out tonight and I don't want anybody to find out how many I've killed. I mean, hell, what are you going out for? What is she going out for? You tend to lose the sight of that, what the relationship's going to be. And I'm not saying that you're not going to find a nice woman in all these women you're trying to pick up. When they ask me if I've had a fantasy, I tell them, yeah, I had this fantasy. I met this woman, I was talking to her in a bar, and to really get to know each other, she suggested we go have sex before we talk it any further. That's a woman I'll probably end up with the rest of my life. And she says to you, let's go. What'd you do? Is this a multiple choice? You gotta think that hard. I'm getting worried now.
It's obvious.
Well, yeah. You'd probably be going like this. Is this a fucking dream?
Yeah. Yeah.
Best case scenario, you see this, you leave this room here, there's this beautiful blonde, I don't know what you like, big tits, whatever, and she looks at you and she's sexier than hell, got a nice mini skirt on with a little slit on the side and says, I'm so horny, let's go to my room and fuck right now. That's your best case scenario. Everything else is two. Look for one. Right?
Now, you touched on before the comment when a woman says, I don't know you, or something along those lines. And she's really just throwing the crap into you there. What's the best way to respond?
Well, a lot of them go, I don't know you yet. And I tell them, what do you think the best way to get to know somebody? You know, when you go in a relationship and you really don't know the guy till after you sleep with him? Well, I'm giving you a fabulous opportunity. You can get to know me right away. Or, I don't do that on the first date. Oh, I'm glad you told me that, because I'm really looking for a spontaneous woman with some gumption. Oh, those are your rules. Can you read me the rest of them so I know what I'm against? Whenever they start, I don't have any rules, but no, I don't sleep with a guy the first date. Why not? Is there a set rule here? Well, you know, well, no, what is it? You do or you don't. Get off the fence. You don't have rules, but you don't sleep with a guy on the first date. That sounds like a rule to me. What do you think? Let's get a jury in this. Does that sound like a rule to you? Does it sound like a rule to you? Well, what are the rest of your rules that you don't have? It's like that girl that read me the riot act. Well, I don't like that. because she's in control. But no, I knew that kind of control I could handle.
Yeah, exactly.
But I knew also that changes. When she wanted to change the relationship, I told her, hey, see? I agreed to you once. You got one. You don't get two. See, if a guy says to you, do you mind if I do that? What would you say?
I'd say, why did you do that? Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. And then I do it again. What would you say if I did it again? Stop it?
Yeah, stop. Why the fuck are you doing that?
Okay. You set a precedence by letting me do it once and then twice. Doesn't matter what you say. I could do it a third time. When you set a precedence to anything you do, you're agreeing to it. Idea, if a guy goes to do that, you stop him before you. No, you don't do that. You don't let him do it once. You don't let her do it once. You stop them right there. Once they set a precedence, you're powerless to change it because you've agreed to it once. By agreeing to it once, you're gonna let them do it twice and three times. I'm sorry, this is just an experiment, okay? You understand? It's the same thing. It's like if you go and you go up to a woman and she says, and you go to touch her and she says, don't touch me. Oh, you don't touch her again.
Okay.
If she doesn't say anything, you can do it again. Right? Same thing with anything you do. Once she sets a precedence, if she makes a rule and you go in for one of her rules, I don't want a girl that's making all these rules up. You know what? If I say to you, let's go out for dinner, right? And I say, it's on me. And you sit down, and then you decide, oh, you order the most expensive thing on the menu. Oh, you pick at your food and you don't like it. Should I get upset? No. Because you have to know. I decided to take you out for dinner. What you do with that dinner is your problem. You can piss on it for all I care. If I decided to give this to you, it's yours. I don't care. I'm the kind of guy who doesn't care if I buy you a birthday present and you sell it to your friend. I don't give a shit what you did with it. It's your present. Okay. There's no strings attached. Okay. You give something if you give something from the heart with no strings attached. If I tell you, you can have this, but I need your firstborn, and you take it, then you owe me your firstborn. Or you have this, but you have to sleep with me tonight. Or you have this and you have to do this for me tonight. So the fair thing is for a person to be honest enough and tell you what they expect. I use this example with women. I say, now, what are your rules? What rules do you have for this relationship? And just a second, those are the games they don't play. You see, there's no rules, but they don't tell you what they are, and they have a bucket of them. So you're not dealing with a fair deck of cards here. You think the cards are shuffled. She knows exactly which ones are coming up. How could you play fair? You tell them, hey, before I get into this relationship, I want to know what your rules are. If I don't like those rules, I'll play a different game. When you go to Vegas and you go into a casino, there's tons of different games to play. You play the one you want. The one you don't want, you don't play. You choose. Same thing with a relationship. Yeah, meeting girls. Okay, there's good-looking girls, really great-looking girls. But when you get them in bed, the best-looking girls, you know, I had a girl once, she says to me, do me. Yeah. She was the worst in bed because she lay there like a piece of fucking meat.
That's the exact experience I had. The most beautiful woman I ever had.
Yeah, so she's so good. So what is it? Like I said, after you make your friends jealous and you know, big deal. What do you want from that?
So would you say that of all the women you've met, because you're not the first person experienced with women who said that generally the majority of the super good-looking women that you've been with are not necessarily the best in bed?
I will tell you that women that think they're gorgeous are the ones who say, do me.
Okay, and they're not.
Okay, there are some gorgeous women who you can suggest what you'd like to do with them, and it turns them on, they become fantastic too. Look, I went out with a girl. All I wanted, she had such a gorgeous ass. I said, you know what? I usually don't like anal sex that much, but I want to fuck your ass. She says, no, it hurts. I go, it won't the way I do it. So she goes, well, it's gonna go real easy, okay? And when you feel any pain, I'll stop right away. So I go behind her. She's starting to feel a little pain. I rammed it into her. And she says, what was that? And I go, I lied. I lied. Once in a while, you gotta lie. Oh, whoops.
That's lit.
Hell, I never said I was an angel. But that's, you know, that's the worst thing I've done. Okay, like really to abuse them.
Listen, with the example with the pencil on the shoulder there, if the person was getting tapped, let's say, go too far, how would, if you were that person, how would you recover? Or is there a way to recover?
You don't let it get to recovering. That's what I'm saying to you. Stop it right away.
Yeah, I know.
He wants to poke me with a pencil. Like, if I'm going to poke him, he should, yeah, stop it. No. Don't poke me. I'm not pokeable.
You had an oversight in the beginning. Or...
You say to them, you don't make it an oversight. You say, you got through without me realizing. Don't do that again. Okay? You don't. It's not an oversight. Okay? If he's being polite and letting me, just saying, letting me do it the first time because thinks he's being nice. He's not. He's being nice to me. No, he's letting me take advantage of him. He's not being nice. You understand? By going once and then he says, look, I really don't like that. You're not being nice because I've already abused you. You understand? When I go to do it, like when you stop me, okay? Stop. No, I don't want it done. That's it. You should stop. You have to respect. You know, like they say, when a woman says stop, no, it's no. You have to have that ability to brake, the braking power. You got to have four-wheel discs in all situations. You know, I talked to a woman, she was driving me crazy, all kinds of stupid nonsense, where I have no games, but I can't do this the first night, and I got like, I says, you know what, this conversation is over. I walked away. And she, all night she'd come after me.
Yep.
Why is it over when you say it's over?
Because it is.
I didn't answer her. I do what they do. You know, when you say they don't answer you and walk away?
Okay.
Yeah. I have no respect for her. I don't want to talk to her anymore. It's over. Because when the conversation you have with them is over, most of the time, they insult you. They turn away, they don't answer you. They're not nice. They're not nice about it. Like saying, you're not the kind of guy I really would go after. Maybe there's another girl here that you'd like. Being honest. They play games with you. Meet me, I'm here with 10 girls at a restaurant. Come on down. It's not a nice thing to do. Make you go down wherever, who knows how far away he was. Or actually, I know how far away he was. That was a really prick thing to do.
Newtown to my place.
Yeah, it's a hell of a trek as a joke on somebody. It's like sending a pizza up to somebody's house, you know?
And not picking up the phone when I call at 11.
You know, not answering the phone. Listen, I don't like to give them my number. So they beg me for it.
That's interesting.
And then I tell them I don't like to give my number out because there's too many Klingon women out there. See, I tell them why I don't want to give them my number, and that makes them become more subservient. If I do give them my number, they will only call me on the times I let them call me. you have to have every aspect under control. You have to be relentless. You can't say, okay, go easy, because there's a big problem with somebody. I think he's in this room. I don't want to mention his name again. And he gives in. He gets subservient with the relationship. He starts to figure, oh, they're nice, and I'm going to be nicer to them, and then they start abusing him right away. Doesn't take long, right? But the idea is we don't want to be abused. You wouldn't do it back. The same way women always say, you'll get this, I don't want to be taken for granted. If you hear that come out of their mouth, you know that they will take you for granted. As soon as they say to you, I don't want to be taken for granted, they will take you for granted. And depends how hard-assed the woman is. I come up with a very logical comparisons for them. And I tell them, like, well, I'm not going to pick on you anymore. How old are you? 20. It's a little harder at 20, because you'll understand a minute. How old are you? 40. 30, 40, it's a little easier for what I'm going to tell you. You're going to have a tougher time with this situation. But you can work on it too, because even girls from the first day they start dating. And what I usually say to them is like this: look, men and women, when they start out with a slate with, let's say, 500 points in it. They go into 1 or 2 relationships, a boyfriend treats them bad, they lose some points. By the time, I'm going to make an example, by the time you're 40 years old, you've had a couple of good, bad relationships, you've got 6 points left, or you've got -12. And here you meet a woman with -25. She's been married and divorced, and the guy treated her really badly or abused her. So what happens? They don't have a free slate for you. They got rules and they've got conditions, and you have to follow, you have to pay for all the other guys' crimes ahead of you. So we're not starting on a clean slate, and I don't know if there's a woman that can start on a clean slate. And I was told by a woman once that I wasn't giving her a fair shake because I didn't start on a clean slate. See, I say that. I said, but I don't know any women who can start on a clean slate. And that's the way we should start, to give each other a chance. And then, when she says, well, I don't do this on the first night, I go, see? You didn't clean that slate.
Ah, that's good.
You have to be smart. You prepare everything. What's the 3 most important things in a relationship? You go honesty, trust, and respect. You ask them that question. When they come back, respect, love, you go, no, you're almost right, or you got 1 right. Right away, you correct them. You're the teacher, you're leading, you correct them. And I've even gotten honesty, trust, and respect, and I get up and I go, wow, bravo, you're the first one. I might have to sleep with you tonight. Come up with a joke, but that's it. You tell them. You lead and you correct them. They want to feel good with you. They want to feel secure with you. So you remember, going back to basics, men are closer to their mothers and girls are closer to their fathers. Changes at certain ages, but that's it. We're very protective of our daughters. We're brought up by our mothers. It's a bad mix. We're very soft on the inside. We love that motherly love. But a woman was taken care of by her daddy, the strength, her father. See, we have parents, but you have to see who. Daddy's little girl can do no harm. For sure, if you have two kids, a boy and a girl, and your son comes home and says, boy, Dad, I just got laid, she was beautiful. Oh, you feel great. And your daughter comes home and says, Dad, these two guys, they fucked my ass and that cut so hard, it felt so good. Yeah, tell me which one you're going to be able to handle. I told my wife I'm so happy I didn't have a daughter. Some sleazebag like me comes to the door, I'd be shitting my pants. But that's the reality of it. That's when you start to realize those things right there. You start to realize what you've got to set yourself your goal. Any other questions here that you need answered?
Well, my question is just I want you to, what do you do in case of this scenario that I'm facing maybe every day?
Are you listening to the girl again? Is this the first thing that I'm going to have to say to you? You're listening to her? Okay, let's go. I said it first. Let me hear the question now.
Okay. It's that is in the metro, for example, when you see the guy, for example, while you change eye contact, well, I want to know how, for example, for you, how you initiate the contact first. You know?
Eye contact?
No. I have already the eye contact. I want to know.
How do you open the door?
Well, it depends. Okay. Where did you have? Okay, give me a scenario.
Metro.
In the metro.
Yeah, in the metro.
Okay, you're in the metro. You're on a metro car, or are you in the platform? What?
No, in the car.
In the car?
On the
The
platform.
wagon.
In the car.
Yeah, step away.
But on the platform in the car, it's important.
Yeah, in the car.
Okay, because I have a great line for the platform.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'll give you both of them, but
Okay.
which one you want first? What?
In the car, that's it. That's one.
On the tracks.
On the track? No, I would. On the platform, I see an eye contact with a girl.
Okay.
I would go, don't take your eyes off me. Make sure I don't fall into that train.
Okay.
Okay? And in the car, if you have the eye contact, it depends. What do you see? What? Okay, let me ask you this question just as what's your perfect woman? What kind of woman do you like? Big boobs, small boobs, blonde, brown, red?
Let's go with big boobs.
Okay, you like big boobs. Slim, fat, chunky, what?
Slim.
Slim, big boobs, slim. What color hair?
Black.
Black hair. Sexy, what's she wearing? Tell me what she's wearing. Well, I gotta know, you're asking me, how do you contact a woman? I gotta know which woman.
Well, any kind of woman I
You're interested. You need to know.
Okay, let's say, I don't know, let's say, for example, skirt, what she's wearing.
She's wearing a skirt?
Okay.
Tall, short, nice legs, long legs, sexy, high heels, sneakers, what? I gotta know.
Okay, short.
Short? Starting to look worse. I might let you get her.
What's her best feature?
Oh, you tell me what you like. I gotta know what you like. You ask me how to approach some eye contact. What about her turns you on? You're asking me, okay, you wanna, let me explain something to you. Okay, here, sorry, I hope you can understand this. I have eye contact with him. How am I gonna approach him? I'm not. I don't wanna fuck him. Okay? What turns me on about him? Zero. I'm gonna punish myself because I'm looking at him. I should be looking at a broad. Okay? No, it doesn't work. What? What scenario? What does she look like? You gotta know. You're telling me a girl. What kind of girl? There's some females I wouldn't fuck with your dick. So you gotta tell me what's nice about it. I'm asking you, what do you like? Now I want to tell you something. I see a girl about 5'7", so a little, 5'7", on high heels, so she's even a little taller than me when in her heels. And she's got medium blonde hair, a real cute smile, okay, perky tits, with a really sharp ass, wearing hot pants. You know what I think of? First of all, you ain't getting her. I am. Second of all, I go, ooh, I like those hot pants. Are they supposed to make me hot or you hot?
Ooh, yeah.
Depends what you see in her.
Exactly.
I can't, tell me what she's wearing. I gotta know what she's wearing. Why'd I look at her? She's a fucking cleaning lady, bag lady. I ain't looking at her. I don't want to approach her.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're asking me questions, a girl. It's, you know what that's like saying?
Okay, well,
Go to the butcher shop, buy a piece of liver, cut a slit in it, and put a picture from a Playboy magazine and fuck it all you want. If it's too cold, put it in the microwave for a while. The fuck you want? What turns you on about her? You know, I mean, hello. I have to know. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to make a joke here, be sarcastic, but really, you're asking me what? I want to know what about her turns you on. Listen, I guarantee all you guys are turned on differently by different women. That's why there's so many out there. There's some, the one downstairs that I thought she was really hot, there, I thought she was great. I would have done her right there on the fucking floor in front of anybody. Maybe you wouldn't. Not saying you don't have good taste or bad tastes. Everybody's different. I tell somebody that I think that chick's real cute. I had a friend, I remember we went to Florida, and he was the kind of guy, real good looking guy, but he also had a problem approaching women. We're standing in Morrison's cafeteria. It's I don't know, who's from Florida here? Who's been in Florida? It was a cafeteria kind of place that you go there, you know, everybody, there's a special for the older people, like what are they call, early bird specials, you know, and you go there with your tray and you choose the food you want. And standing in front of us was this really cute little girl there, and I was with my friend, and he looks at her and she looks at him and he looks at her and she looks at him, and I'm going, Jeff, you like her? He says, yeah, she's cute. I go, yes, go talk to her. He goes, oh, I don't know. I walk over to her and I go, excuse me, my name's Dave. I have to tell you something. It's very important you know this. My friend Jeff over there is freaking out over you. He's so cute. And he won't introduce himself to anybody unless somebody knows her first. Oh. So I want you to come over with me. I want you to meet my friend Jeff.
That's great.
He lived with her for a week in Florida after that. But I approached her. It depends what you like. I wouldn't have gone after her. I was looking at her in line too. I looked at her once, it's not my type. I like this other girl that was over there, and I didn't get her. You know, you can't be 100%. Maybe she was on a different agenda. Maybe after she had supper, she had to go to a boyfriend's house. Maybe she's a drug lord and had to go buy drugs. I don't know. You can't do everybody. But it's who you approach. Maybe if I would approach this one, she would have gone with me. But I liked the other girl, and I knew he liked her. And I have a rule. I won't fight over this with any guy.
Yeah,
It's not worth it. There's so much of it out there. If you want her, go. But you have to know what you like. You're asking me, how do you meet a girl in the metro? A metro shouldn't be any different.
Well, what the question may be, I will phrase it in a way.
Okay.
Do you, but let's say, do you stand up and you go in front of people and you tell her what do you want to tell, or
always.
I was thinking until she got up in the next stop.
No, I don't wait for. I don't have a. You see, if we have eye contact, I'm talking to her right away after. If she doesn't notice I'm there, I will sometimes make contact.
Or even go up to her. She's got a Walkman on her head or something like that.
Yeah. If she's got a Walkman on her head, I'll usually go up to her like this. I go, that gets everybody to take that Walkman off every time I do that.
That's right.
Okay, just get her attention. You got to be innovative. Understand? In a metro, you see, to me, when you ask me, what if you meet her in a metro on a platform, let's make a difference. Use the props that are there to guide yourself on how to get her.
I had an example in this is a real, it happened last year in the bus. Speaking of public transportation, sitting, the benches at the end, the sideways benches. Opposite me were two Russian girls, one Russian guy, and another guy who from another country, I don't know. So the three of them, the Russians were speaking Russian to each other. Whenever they spoke to the other guy, they used English because that's their common language. And then one of the girls started eye contacting me, so I looked back at her, and at the time I didn't know what I was doing, but I just held it for about 5 seconds. But then in my mind, I thought, it's probably not a good idea. It's rude to just keep staring like that.
Or you were thinking that, or you
That's what I was
thought she was thinking that? You thought she might think it. Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Excuse me. Let me just stop you right now.
I'm worried about what you're thinking again.
Isn't that rule number 1 again?
Yeah, well, I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah. But you're thinking of what she's thinking.
Yeah. So I did the worst thing. I looked down. That's the worst place to look. I mean, look away if you want to break eye contact, but not down.
You talk Russian? Is that Russian I hear? Because sometimes I try that all the time, try to recognize the language I hear.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
go,
way to approach
is
it.
that, Clifford was a witness to that one once, eh, Cliff? Is that, what language was that? The sexiest girls I've met come from that country. Are you from that country? Russia? Wow. I speak every language but Greek. Ask me something in any language.
Yeah, I don't.
Any language at all.
Oh, want me to ask you something?
Yeah.
Nihongo.
That's Greek to me.
It's great because it gets a laugh.
Oh, I speak every language, but only half.
I don't care what they say or think. I'm driving.
Yeah.
You keep, every time you come up with a question, you guys, I'm telling you, it comes back to what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, if I would have come in here at the beginning and said, okay, guys, there's 2 rules to my method, and that's, who gives a fuck what they think? Okay, and you're number 1. So you go, what the fuck's he talking about? But although it sounds silly, and I'm not trying to say to talk against women. If I was talking to women right now, I'd say to them, hey, how to deal with men? Who gives a fuck what they think? They only think of one thing.
Sex.
Isn't that what you tell them? Yeah. What would anybody here tell them different? What are you thinking of? What are they thinking of? You know what the weird thing is? We crawl down this once in our life, and the rest of our life we try to crawl back up. And that's what you tell a woman. If you want a good relationship, the relationship has to work, has to go past things. And you know what I tell them? Sex is, to me, a very, very important and serious part of a relationship. More important than if you like popcorn at the movie theater. What do you think? I couldn't go out with a girl who didn't like popcorn. I love meat. My wife's a vegetarian. The only thing I care about is she has to only like 1 piece of meat in her mouth. And as long as she likes that, I don't give a fuck what she eats. It's her mouth and her body. You know, a lot of guys, I've heard this lots of times. Oh, I went out with so-and-so last night and she ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, or she picked her food. And it's again, you have to live it. What are the rules? What are the conditions? You can tell them and you can ask them. She can say, can you take me out for dinner? Say, I can't take you out for dinner. I have a rule. They only take out girls for dinner after I slept with them.
You've actually said that.
Yeah. It costs a lot to take them out and spend money on them and find out. And a lot of you guys are in limited funds. You're not doing your relationship fair if you throw away money and you can't afford it and you have a miserable time. And then you call her up to take her out again. Now you don't know, it's going to cost me more money for nothing? You've gone through those thoughts. Not everybody's rich. And if you're rich and she takes you for an expensive meal and you don't get anything out of it, you feel taken, no. You want to, listen. This is the way it works. I sleep with you, I take you out for dinner. Next time you cook for me. It's the way it works. You don't like that? Okay, cook me up first. Then you'll sleep with me. You'll cook for me. Then I'll take you out for dinner. I can change it that way. You know, what do you want from a relationship? What are you looking for? You want a relationship you're not going to be happy in? You want a relationship you're going to only have sex when she wants? I'm laughing because you're already in big trouble even thinking that line. How many times you hear songs and women use sex as a weapon? And it's a very good weapon. Excellent controller. Any other questions here?
Question regarding approaching women. Usually noticed that complimenting them is a really nice way to approach them on what you observe and what you really like about them.
Yes.
And then proceeding with the structure. Usually I've always tried to talk to them for a few minutes, and then I'm usually doing something at the moment, so I get their number or whatever, and leave. But are there any other ways you can do things? What do you recommend?
You know, remember what they say, okay? There's another set of rules here that take into play, but you see, you guys, I don't think you're ready for those rules yet. And that is, and you've heard this before, I will bet every one of you, whoever hasn't heard this before will please raise their hand. Treat a lady like a whore and a whore like a lady. Who has never heard that before? You never heard that before? Memorize it.
Yeah, it's most important.
Very important. Treat a lady like a whore and a whore like a lady. Because that's reality.
Very true.
Okay? You're young and you haven't heard that before. Let me tell you now, you'll hear it again. And it's very, very true and very, very profound. Those girls, I remember I went out with a girl. This client of mine comes in and tells me that he has a cousin who passed away, very wealthy guy, and he had a daughter. Her name was Iona. And her last name fit her very well. She's from a very wealthy family. And he wanted me to take her out. And I never wanted to take out anybody in my family or any of my clients' family because I don't need the hassle. If I don't like her, if I do like her, I don't want to, you know, I want to keep my private life away from my business life. But he pestered me and he made me take her out. And she wouldn't leave me alone. She was the ultimate, consummate Klingon. She used to call me up and have these sex conversations with me on the phone about that she, and I found out she went to these places in New York like Plato's Retreat. She was the sluttiest broad I've ever seen in my life. Okay? She was like the worst. She's the kind of girl you call a porcupine. She had as many pricks on her as she's had in her, she'd look like a porcupine. And she was so bad, so gross. I taped her conversation. I should actually try to find the tape and put it into this thing too, but it was incredible. You wouldn't believe it. And you'd look at her and you talk to her and you think, oh, this is a real lady. And then I used to pick up dancers, strippers. They were the easiest to pick up.
What is your structure for that?
Treat them like a lady, not like a stripper.
That's very true.
So simple. Everybody treats them like a whore. They're naked, they're in front of you. The last thing you're going to say, I would say to her, I'd really like to take you out with my 2 kids on a picnic. In those days, I never had kids. Right away. Picnic, kids. I call her up, let's go on the picnic. Where are your kids? Did I say I have kids? I said, I would take your kids on a picnic. They'll all go out with you on a picnic with your 2 kids. So yeah, I'm guilty of manipulation.
How did you figure these things out? Did you just try a lot of different things?
Sure, it's easy. You see, again, I didn't care what they think. It's easy to try stuff. Most of it works the first time. Because you got nothing to lose. You guys already think it's gone. Now you're shooting at the stars. You'd be surprised by impressing them how intelligent you are, or how open you are, how honest you are, is refreshing. They've heard all those lines. I mean, I hear those conventional lines like I'm telling you. I love to go, when I go out of town, I make sure, I don't drink anymore, so I go into the bar just to sit at the bar, near all the people trying to pick everybody up, and I love hearing those lines. I mean, it's like watching TV. I look at I went to Toronto with my friend, and we stopped by at, we ate at Kelsey's. And there's one in Mississauga there, and we went, asked them where a nice bar was in the area, and told us there's one with a lot of students around. I listened to those lines, bless their hearts. I was like peeing myself laughing. You know, you could see the lines that they come up with. Like I've heard them a gazillion times. And when they leave, you can hear the girls saying, boy, another loser, you know? And one of them says, well, I'm going to play with him for a while because I want another drink. I mean, you hear stuff like that all the time. When you come up with the stuff I give them, they forget all that. Wow, who is this guy? I mean, I never like to tell them what I did for a living till I decide if I'm going to sleep with them. I tell them you'll only find out about me tomorrow, if after breakfast. And if they push me, what do you do for a living? I tell them, I repair disposable cigarette lighters. I repair disposable cigarette lighters. You'd be surprised how many believe that. But yeah, that's the reality. And what was one of my, ask Clifford, he's heard that line many years ago. I had a girl say to me, I swear to you, I just threw out one yesterday. Shit. I sat down one day and I thought, what could be the most useless profession on this planet? And yeah, let's try that one. And you'd be surprised how many believed it. Where do you do that? Oh, I have a little shop on St. Catherine Street. Business good? Yeah, I can afford a shop on St. Catherine Street repairing dollar cigarette lighters. You'd be surprised how many things women tell you guys that you don't really hear everything or you believe. Like, for instance, I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. Like, I'm waiting there with 10 of my gorgeous girlfriends come down right now. I mean, is it not as bad as what I'm doing or worse?
It's a weird thing for her.
It's even worse because if I tell you the pair of disposable cigarette lighters, I'm not asking you to invest in my company.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, shut up. I don't want to tell you what I do for a living. Okay? And they're making you go halfway around the city on a wild goose chase. So it all depends what you want. If you keep your relationship honest and straight, you have no problem. If they start playing games with you, play their games back. Ask them, when you ask them a question, they give you an answer with a question, ask them a question. Even if you can't think of one, go, why did you ask me that? That's the best one. If you can't think of a question to ask her back right away, come back with the one that's it's a spare, you know? You keep it in your back pocket. Why'd you ask me that? And then try to think of another answer because she's going to say, why do you say that? You go, why do you say that? You know? And if she starts laughing, say, come on. And go, come on. Go, I asked you a question, you asked me a question back. Try to bring it back. Keep it in the same basic, hey, you didn't answer mine, I ain't answering yours. We talked about honesty, trust, and respect, and you're the first one to start a problem. I use that. That is probably my biggest weapon. Because once I tell them honesty, trust, and respect, I want to catch them lying to me.
Okay.
And I put them on the carpet every time they're fucking around with me. Every time they tell me, I don't play games, but I don't do that on the first date. Next.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
And I tell them. And if I catch them 2-3 times, I usually go over, if it's a bar, I go, give me a piece of paper, bartender. Okay, I just want to put a record here. Debbie and Dave. Okay, 3 for Debbie and 0 for Dave. Okay, let's go, next. Just keep this and, you know, you can keep a count. Because they all expect you to be the liar. It's always the guy that lies to them. It's always the guy that plays games. It's always the guy that's not doing this. It's always the guy that's not doing that. It's usually not. But you see, they start with one thing in their mind that you guys don't have. Well, you guys do have, but don't have. One is that you're feeling guilty before you met them. They don't feel guilty before they met you. So they know already, they have a thing in their they have an ace in their pocket. You already feel guilty, no problem. I know how to use that against them right away. When they say, all guys lie, well, you go, I don't. You defend it. I don't defend it. I go, you haven't found an honest guy yet. Luckily, I'm here.
Or you can quote Chris Rock.
You can't skirt the issue and walk through. You got to confront it, stop it right there and then. The same thing with the pencil. Same thing with the poke or whatever. No. I resent that. I'm not dishonest. I can't. Women use that as a weapon, as a line. Because most men have those guilts that they get from their mothers. And they're a woman, and you already have the guilt before you met her. All you guys are guilty of that already. What? Guilty of what? You should be all electrocuted because you're nice guys? Because you're sensitive? Did you know there's a book published by a woman, and the title is How to Date a Nice Guy? If you want, buy a copy, or find out the publisher and all the information and give it to print it on some cards and give it to the girl. Says, you want a good experiment? Go get this book and read it, and give her the title and everything on a piece of paper. She'll be impressed. How to date a nice guy. You definitely know how to date creeps because you wouldn't be here and meeting me if you didn't have that experience. And this is all stuff that they say. I'm throwing it back at them. It's your best weapon. Don't skirt the issue. Don't be afraid to confront it. You'll find you'll be smart enough to stop everything.
So when you ask them, what is it they do on the first date, or what their rules are, the ultimate goal, I'm assuming, this is something I'm making, that it's because at some point you're going to get into the conversation about the points and how we all start off with points, and then we get in a state where our slate is just not clean.
Depending now, I have to tell you, depending on how you handle that. In other words, if you find that it's better to start saying, you know, when I meet somebody like you and you give her the whole story on points and then you say, by the way, what are your rules? If she goes, you have none, say, I don't believe that, because I'll ask you a few things and you'll see, and she'll go, try me, and you'll go, I will soon, and you talk about other things, ask her what vegetable or fruit she likes, then you bring back and say, would you go home with somebody on the first date? And she'll go, no. So you see, we were talking a few minutes ago. You do have rules. And I said, I love to do that because it's called entrapment.
Okay.
And it works, okay? I'll bring them, you see, like I said, I bring them into thinking the way I want them to think. You know, when I meet somebody like you and it's not our first time round, and it's a problem because two people, when they meet each other, have this slate, and the slate isn't clean. You know, give them that whole spiel there, and then trust, honesty, and respect, and then I try to change the subject. I get them off guard. I do that. It's definitely manipulation. I do that to stay in control. Then I bring them in later on and go, by the way, would you sleep with somebody on the first date? And they go, no. So you do have rules. What are your rules?
Most of the women, when you ask them that question, they say, oh no, I don't have any rules. Is that what you're saying? Most of the,
Yeah.
That's why it's easy to get them in that trap.
Exactly, because I know they're all going to say they don't have any rules.
I get it.
And if ones say they have rules, I'd like to know them, please.
Yeah.
You need to know the rules.
Yeah.
When you come into a city, you should find out the rules of the road. Montreal
You can't turn right.
has no rights on red. You get a ticket after you know that because you turned right on red. It's not Montreal's fault, it's your fault. You should have remembered or whatever. They're going to change it in a year, it's wait for another year. Know the rules. You meet a girl, I've had my cunt sewn up and I really can't fuck. Thank you for telling me goodbye, you know. You'd want to know that, right? I mean, isn't that fair? Oh, I've had a sex change operation. I used to be a man. Thank you very much. Right? You have the right to know these things. I have AIDS, I have herpes. It's the same kind of things. I don't think I want to get into a relationship with what I'm not looking for. I'm not a charity case, and I'm not looking to be a pioneer in that area. You want to know what the rules are. There's nothing wrong with that. If you find that there's something wrong with that, if they find that there's something wrong with that, well, go on to the next one. I'm not saying there's plenty of girls that I started with who I was working into a very good, and something they said turned me off completely. I don't want to pursue that. If that happens, okay, I know where else to go. Oh, this is an incredible story, but true. I talked to this girl on the phone. My friend tells me she's a dispatcher for a trucking company. And he was down there at this trucking company. She's really hot looking. So I said, give me your number. That's all I need. Start talking to her on the phone, yada, yada, yada. We get in all kinds of sex conversations. Get in those conversations, she's playing with herself on the phone and having an orgasm. And I go over to her house. And it's one of these places, I don't know, you'd have to know Montreal. It's in Lachine, where it's like 4 steps up to the first level. You walk in, there's another step up. And then her balcony in the back is almost ground level, but it's up almost, not a full story. I walk into the apartment. It's dark in there, red, nice curtain. I see the curtains open at like the patio doors or something, where the balcony is. And I hear click. I turn around, she's behind me. She's wearing leather bikini underwear with a mask on, with a fucking cat of nine tails whip. So I look at her and I go, very nice. I approve. I figure, you know, she goes, I'm a dominatrix and I want a submissive. So I said, wrong guy. So she starts to flick the whip at me. So I tell her, don't do that again. So she does it again. I grab the whip and I throw it to the ground. I said, I want to leave. I go to the fucking door, it's locked.
Oh boy.
Now, I'm not a small guy and I can handle myself pretty well, but I don't want to fucking even get to hurting the woman to get out of her place, because I mean, how many police are going to believe that she wanted to entrap you? I don't want to be there to have that kind of conversation. So I go out to her balcony and I take a jump down, almost break my legs. This is years ago. I take a jump down, run to the front, get in the car, and drive away from there. Now, for sure, I could have fucked her. I don't know what would have happened, but you see, my instinct for survival was, I have so many others.
Yeah.
This looks like trouble to me. Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen yesterday.
You know, there's tons of crazies out there. I'm not saying you're not going to encounter crazy women. There's crazy guys. There's crazy everything. I mean, I can't believe they haven't found one woman yet that's killed 30 different guys or kids or something like that. There's got to be as many crazy guys out there. There's got to be women that are doing the same kind of thing. It's harder to find, I guess. But you have to be careful. Every relationship. I was in Dallas. I put that ad in the paper. I got sent things all the time. They sent me, those women sent me pictures. I have to bring that file to Clifford and show him. And I'll never forget, I go into the house in Dallas, and in Dallas, a lot of people like to drink iced tea out of old jars. Hey, you guys seen that before? They're like, they're jar, you know, like preserved jars. Some of them have handles on them. It's a jar. It's, you can, what are they called?
Mason jar.
So I get to her house. She tells me she lives with her son who's on disability. I go in a room and meet him. He's in one of these hospital beds, all laid up. So I sit down in the living room. She's making me supper. She takes out these tray tables, puts this jar in front of me like this, and I look at it. It looks like I'm the 7th person to use it before they clean it. I'm going, gross. On the tray table, it has never been wiped down from the time they ate on it the last time. And she must have sent me a picture that she took 20 years earlier.
Oh, no.
So I tell her, I think I'd like to go home. And she's there, and in Dallas, these women have guns everywhere. Everybody's got guns, you know? So I tell her, I want to get out of there. I go to the door, it's fucking locked.
Oh, like one of those
I tried tried chasing all around the house. It's key locked, and the door's got 2 thin panes of glass in it with that Ripley glass. You know, you can't get through it. Oh, fuck. I told her, I says, listen, I want out. I ended up throwing a big chair through her living room window, the front window, and running out of the house. I cut my leg up and my arm up on the glass shards, and I took off. There's crazy people out there. You don't know what you come in contact with. I was afraid to drink, and she kept begging me to take a drink, and I said, for sure, I ain't touching anything in this place, you know. Maybe that guy in bed wasn't her son. Hello, you know, you gotta be careful. And I'm not the kind of guy that most people will mess with, you know, but they try anyway. You gotta be careful with stuff like that. So, yeah, you gotta be discreet, you gotta take it easy. You don't know what you're dealing with. When you said, like, you mentioned before, dominatrix. I've played stuff like that with a bunch of people. We had like a orgy kind of thing, and we took turns doing that, you know, and yeah, it's fun. All that stuff's fun. But it all depends the circumstances.
These are people you knew. There's a certain trust already.
Yeah.
It was funny, I usually come out on top of the dominatrix, which was kind of like it's out over there. I mean, there's some that probably sell switches. They do both, but these were like supposed to be hardcore doms. Just could not because of my body image, whatever. They just backed down immediately when they saw me, and immediately became submissive. So that was the interesting thing, more so than all the other stuff that's going on. Just watching how I could affect their.
There's a friend that I have that Clifford introduced me to many years ago, and this guy got into the situation where he only wanted to go into masochism, you know, domination and submissive and all this kind of thing. And one day I went with him. We were having a party, He starts slapping around this girl. Her ass got so red, and I could understand that that's in the game. And then he started slapping her face and started punching her in the face. And I stopped him. I said, "Stop! Let me leave. Let me out of here." Okay? I mean, I've seen things. You can give a guy a punch and you can paralyze him for life. You can give 1,000 punches and not even scratch the guy. Play is play, and sometimes things get out of hand from the best intentions. You got only your own ass to protect. Don't go there if you don't want to take a chance and deal with it later on. You know, like they say, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. You have to know what you want, and don't go to situation. If you're adventurous, you want to try different things, okay, but remember,
Understand the risk.
Understand the risk. That's also in a lot of advanced stuff. You guys are getting laid all the time and you start meeting girls like that, we have a different kind of session for you. It's called survival. Okay, going back to, let's see. Have we answered everybody's questions, or anybody's got a question they need answered?
Yeah, could you elaborate on this entrapment thing? That was probably pretty powerful. Entrapment, getting them to...
I call it entrapment, but it's not the kind of entrapment that I would say is like illegal.
No,
it's usually getting them to admit to what they lie about the most fiercely.
Do you do that throughout the relationship?
I'm relentless. When I read them my riot act and I give them my rules, that's my Bible. When I tell them honesty, trust, and respect, the minute they're out of line once, they know about it. And I also tell them, I give you enough rope to hang yourself, I give you 3 strikes. Don't look for 4. It don't exist. I tell them that. Why not? I won't be there for the 4th time they try to pull something on me. What for? The 4th time I usually tell them is the first time for another girl. If by 3 dates she doesn't know if she wants to sleep with you, she ain't gonna know after 33 dates. Why waste your time? And yes, the entrapment's always there. I tell them the rules. I tell them you don't play games, because they'll, you tell them what you want in a relationship. I want a relationship where I don't play games, honest, open, spontaneous. I don't mind to live out your fantasy if you're willing to live out my fantasy. I tell a girl, you like oral sex, and she goes no, and say, it's too bad because I give better head than you'll ever imagine. But if she won't give me head, why should I give her head? I won't go through a relationship for do me, and let her lie there. She's got to work for it. I tell her, I know I'm fantastic in bed. I just want to make sure you deserve it. And I guarantee any one of you guys are alone with a good-looking broad, and if I tell you it doesn't matter how many times you blow your load, just keep going. You'll be good too. I have confidence. And it's with a woman, remember, the facade and the fantasy that she's living when she meets you and feeling about you. If she feels these things about you, the secure, the comfortable, the respectful of you, she'll build up a fantasy in her own mind and she'll have an orgasm. Maybe not the first time, but for sure the second time. Because they're fantasizing. They fantasize a lot more than men do. So they fantasize. You see, we fantasize like a fast porno.
Yeah.
We fantasize we want to fuck them and get out of there. They want the story. Mm-hmm. You know those pornos you guys watch and they fucking like they only fuck 4 times in the whole porno. And you're watching for an hour and you end up if it's a tape you're going shh fast forward to the fucking part.
Yep. Saturday Night Blue New Year.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't do that. They want to watch the whole movie. You see, you want to fast forward to the fucking, they want to watch the whole movie. So in their mind, they're not fast forwarding. And don't tend to forget that. That's a very key point. They're not fast forward. They're not doing that. They're watching those terrible acting. I think Jim wants to sleep with me. Huh? I mean, you're going, I don't care what she says. I don't even want to hear her voice. Get naked. Okay? And but girls want to see the whole movie. So you should go and look up these porn movies that are suited more for women and see what they like to watch. And a good homework for all you guys, I want you to rent, watch whatever you can on a very a recent movie with Mel Gibson,
Oh yeah.
What Women Want. That'll teach you a lot on the differences. It's a good movie because during watching that movie, I called Clifford, watch this part, you dumb fuck. Watch this part, you dumb fuck. You understand? I kept calling him. Make him watch that whole movie, you know? And you guys all need to watch that movie. It's very important. It'll give you a rough idea on what you're doing. Not wrong, but what you're doing and what you're not realizing. It gives you, there's a couple of other movies like that.
Juan DeMarco is a good one. Marlon Brando, Johnny Depp.
I've seen parts of that. I haven't seen the whole movie, but this movie with Mel Gibson, I liked it.
Yeah.
How about Swingers?
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. There's a lot, but this one is particularly good, by the way. I'd say, it's a good example for you young guys, okay? 20 years old, I'm not trying to put you down because you're young. You're at the stage of your life. When I was 20, so I was already fucking for a while, but when I was 20, I was like a bloodhound. Pussy. I couldn't, that's all I thought about. I couldn't think of anything else. I didn't think about food, pussy. That's all I thought about. I finished work. Work was so I could have enough money to go after pussy. Sleep was so I could be not tired tomorrow to go after pussy. That's all my life revolved around was pussy. And 20 years old, it's so nice, you know, like I used to drive downtown, 20 years old, pick up a broad, bring her back to my parents' house, fuck her either in the backyard with my parents sleeping on their lawn furniture, my father's car, because he used to have those big convertibles, okay? Or do her at her parents' house. That's all I was thinking, where can I fuck her? I had a close friend, he now lives in Ontario also. His name was Grant, and there was these motels on Saint Jacques. They were like, fucking motels. You go there, you pay a few bucks, and you get a room. And he'd go there and use the name David. And I'd go there and use the name Grant. Not knowing, I just figured I gotta use his name. So one day we're both there together, and he says to me, I'm standing beside, he goes, Grant, and he goes, how'd you know my name? He goes, no, you're Grant. And I go, how'd you know? What's going on? And we're camping, and he goes, David, and I go, yeah. He goes, no, it's him. And we found out we were using each other's names. So, go to a motel, bring her back home or to the club or wherever, and look for another one. Those days, I just got back from the army, and I used to come into my apartment. There was always 3-4 girls there all the time. All my friends used to come over to stand in line to get laid. It was like,
This is when you were 20?
2021. It was different. It was a different world there. There was no fear of... The worst thing you could fear was like gonorrhea or syphilis. Very promiscuous. Nobody used condoms.
What do you use condoms?
Nobody used condoms then.
Well, the pill was popular, so.
Pill started out then, you know. You didn't ask her if she was taking the pill. You just say when she told you she was pregnant, you said, this is really not my name and I'm leaving town tomorrow. Different world, you know. But,
Your topic, kiss them. We're moving up in the seduction.
it's easy to kiss them. Comes with the affection. Now, depending how far you've got in the relationship, but if you're not taking them home, okay, if you're not taking them home that night, go over to them and try to give them a kiss, just for the physical contact, not on their lips,
Okay.
because they want you to try to give them a kiss on their lips,
Yeah.
because they want,
Cheek.
yeah.
It happened to me, that's it.
What my best thing is, I'd like to give you a kiss goodbye, give me your cheek. I would initiate, you know, I'd initiate where I don't want to try to get them, you know.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
And if they say, well, you don't want to kiss, I go, no, I'm too good a kisser and I don't want to turn you on just by kissing you. See, everything is positive with me. Kissing is important. I always stress how good a kisser I am. But sometimes I could just sit and kiss somebody all night. I don't have to have an orgasm. If you really put me to the test, I think that's almost a lie. That's a damn good line, you know.
I could kiss all night, yeah. But do you, when you sometimes, I mean, you encounter resistance at a certain point? I mean, I've encountered it a couple of times over the year, and the funny thing is I've overcome the resistance in different ways, sometimes completely different ways, just using my intuition, and it worked.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I say, don't worry about the resistance. If they're giving you resistance, most of the time they're testing you.
Yeah.
You know, they're testing you, so ignore it. Remember, the key rule here is if they say no, it's no. You don't want to come off like you're trying to force them for anything. You don't want to come off like you're, you know, a lech.
I could imagine myself saying something like, because following your rules, I've been seeing this woman a couple of times, and I kept thinking, I'm going to do what I want. When the time comes, if I want to kiss her, I will. And the funny thing is, she kept doing things that were turning me off, not physically, but just things she was saying. She wasn't trancing out. She wasn't like slowing down. So I just realized, I let her go. I actually took her to the door and said, hey, it's been nice, but I got to get up early tomorrow. She was so shocked, you know? They're like,
Yeah,
it was really cool. She was shocked.
You don't
And then she
have
left
to
the
kiss her.
car.
You're not gonna, you know.
No, that's it. And the cool thing is that yesterday the relationship was much different because I spent the evening, she took me to a party, spent the whole evening with two of her best friends. And I got such great rapport that those two are now very interested in me. So she was really friendly to me by the end of the evening. She wasn't why I wasn't paying attention. So I decided that the next time I'm with her, there's a good chance I'm going to want to kiss her, and I'm going to go for it. And I think that it's going to be easy for me to be honest and say, hey, you know, I really, really want to kiss you, whatever. And just
You see, again, seducing them and kissing them, it's easy. But you guys, I'll tell you, from what I see here today, you're not ready for that. You're ready, you need to practice on the approach. You know, like I have here, bring them home. Now, it depends. Bringing them home is the closing part. Now, if I give you all this advice and you take it all, you might not be able to go through the whole thing in one motion, one night. And you didn't fail by doing that. You have to hone your skills. Whatever you got to do, you got to practice and try. Because once you start getting successful, as a couple of the fellows here have gotten successful, you're one, Ryan's one, you start to feel a little more confident. You start to not think as hard at what are they thinking. It frees you to concentrate on other things. If you think you're going to tell them, oh, you're good looking, I'd like to fuck you, come home with me right now, it's a tough call. You need to start. That's why I say, do a little homework, rent that movie, watch that and take a look. When you decide to start going out, start really wanting to practice, jerk off before you go out.
Yeah.
Don't get too horny. You know, I know, I've gotten out too, and I'm so fucking horny that I'm bursting. I gotta grab the first girl. I would, you know, and you start talking to the first one, you know, and you think to yourself, I'm wasting my time with this one. Let me go over after that one is better looking over there, but I'm gonna, because I'm so horny. And the next thing you know, you don't got nobody, and you're going, what did I do?
Funny, for me, it's exactly the opposite.
So sometimes you go in there, if you don't start getting, if it's not progressive, it's not good, go to the next one. Say, hey, it's not, and there's nothing wrong with saying to her after you start talking to her, it's going mediocre. You go, you know what? I'm really way too horny to continue this with you tonight. I gotta find something I gotta do tonight. So I'm gonna be back. Don't take it as an insult. You're a very attractive lady, and you did turn me on first, but I'll be back. Go to the next one. Go to the next. Just that staying power, that control that she thinks you have. It's going to impress her. You can't get every single one. You can, okay? But how much time do you have? Do you want to, you're here in Montreal, you're not here for a month, you're here for a day or two, or a night, or one night, or 3 nights, or 4 nights. You want to get laid at least the second night you're in town. You're going to start talking to a girl, she's going to give you a whole cock, you're going to say, well, call me tomorrow. Fuck, I'm leaving day after tomorrow. What am I wasting my time with her for? Go to the next one. Not saying that you wouldn't have got her, but you don't flog a dead horse. If you see you can go further, go to the next one. You were my first choice. But I have to tell you, I'm in a strange city and I need to be close to somebody tonight. I need to feel the warmth from another human being. Goodbye. If she calls you back, you're doing well. If she doesn't, you didn't lose anything. You're not wasting your time. Sometimes you spend some time with a girl and it wasted all that time. You buy her a bunch of drinks, wasted all that time. Yeah, I believe I can make practically any broad I meet, because one way or another I'm gonna spin a fantasy in their mind for them. They'll start to believe the illusions that I make out to. But I've got a lot of experience, and you can't be me, and you can't know what to use. I'm going to try every single thing in my power, and I'm relentless. You guys have to get over a couple of things that I've gotten over a long time ago, so don't try to copy me exactly. I'd rather you get a sure thing than chase after that fish that you're not going to get. It's like we talked about fishing. You don't go fishing in an area where there's not a lot of fish. Okay, it might be cheating to go to an area, you guy drops his hook and you pick up a fish right away. You might be better off doing that. It might not be as exciting. You know, but at least you know you're gonna go home with some fish. It's like those big fishing trips they do for when people go salmon fishing. You know, it's great fishing trips, but they guarantee you a salmon. If you don't get one on your line because there's so many around, they'll give you one to take home when you're spending $1 gazillion fishing trip. Well, this is the same kind of thing. you're not gonna go and say to the guy, where are there no fish in the lake? I'm going there to fish. Or I want 2 lone fish. Or where's there a lot of fish, you go fishing there. And if the first fish gives you a lot of trouble, go for the next one. When you pick it up and it's too small, unhook it and go for another one. You don't want young ones, eh? You want to be woken up just after you finish fucking and she's in your hotel room and the police say, she's 16, you're under arrest. You don't want to know that kind of shit. So you don't want that. Just like you don't want a girl who's goes home with you to your hotel room, you just walk in the room, somebody kicking down the fucking door because it's her boyfriend she wanted to make jealous and he wants to kick the shit out of you.
They do that. They really do that.
I mean, you don't want that kind of stuff. You want a nice time. You want to meet somebody. Maybe you want to pursue the relationship. The funny thing is, I think a guy sleeping with a girl the first night that he met her can have more respect for her if she's the best fuck he's ever had. He'll want to sleep with her again. It won't be a one-night stand.
You say that to him. Absolutely. Because they still have this ridiculous impression that, no, we only respect a woman if she holds out for 4 or 5 dates. They're still stuck with that. I only respect them if they have 3 threesomes.
What's that?
I only respect them if they're willing to do threesomes, so it's the next step.
Like I said, when it gets to threesomes or twosomes or, like I went that route too, and that's what changed my life. I got bored after a while. I couldn't do one girl one-on-one anymore. Doesn't turn you on. And it's a lot harder to find 2 than to find 1.
When you're talking to 2 at once, do you ever play them off each other?
No. You don't know. You don't know how friendly they are.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point.
You don't know their relationship, and a lot of guys try that. They hope to go home with one of them, so they're playing the 2 of them. I find I end up going with none.
Or okay.
I like to,
No, I read a posting where a guy play them off each other, but the goal was to get a threesome. And according to him, it worked.
look.
He made them compete with each other.
I found the easiest way to get a threesome is when the girl you're with picks up the other girl.
That's what most guys say.
That's the best, and it's faster and easier.
You don't have to do so much work, too.
Because women, if they're interested in another woman, they both know about it very fast. I remember I was driving down and I was with that really attractive girl, the one that was Miss Montreal, and there was this girl hitchhiking, and we drove by her and she gave a real big smile. We drove by and I said, look at the smile she gave me, and she goes, why do you think it was you?
Ooh.
I stopped that fucking car so fast. I said, go find out. Okay, but that's the reality, Hey, I was taking things for granted. And you know what? After you've slept with a girl and you get intimate with them, there's nothing you can't talk about.
Yeah, that's true. We're not going to do it so far.
And that's the same thing when they start asking you questions. You tell them, after I sleep with you, there's nothing we can't talk about. Once you get past that, inhibitions in the sexual anxiety. Good, thank you. Who said that? Wonderful. I love that kid. Exactly. Once you get over that anxiety, it's smooth sailing. You can talk to them like he likes to tell them, hey, you got to do threesomes. Okay. Maybe they're humoring him, but they're not throwing him out.
No.
You understand? So let him humor him. I went out with a girl, she had the nicest ass, I was telling you, you know. She says, no guy's ever gonna do it in my ass. And I think that's what turned me on, to be honest with you. When she said to me, no guy's gonna put it in my ass, that's all I thought about. That's it. She ruined me. That's all I thought about. Day and night. How do I do? What do I try? I'll try that one. And I tried. I was relentless. I couldn't. That's it. Don't do that to me. Don't say those things. It all depends what turns you on, and when it turns you on, and at what stage it turns you on. Okay, let me go back to a little bit of my list here. Like I said, bringing them home in threesomes, I think we got the problem is I don't have the confidence. I don't know what to say, how to keep the conversation going, and overcome fear of rejection. These, I'm assuming, would be the most important things for you guys right now. I don't have the confidence. I don't know what to say. Now, like I said, confidence, it's going to come to you easily when you figure out what to say. And I don't know what to say is, again, I don't know what to say to them. I don't know what I'm going to say to them next. I don't know who I'm going to talk to. But I know one thing for sure. For sure. She's going to lead me to what I have to talk about. See, I'm so confident that now if you guys start saying that, you're going to know who you're going to talk to, who you're going to... You don't know it. You don't feel it like I do. I've lived it. I lived it today at lunch. You understand? I use what she's feeling, what I'm observing. Once you get past that, when you feel, you won't have a problem on what to say to them and how to talk to them. You won't have a problem. Because, first of all, we're not asking you to go fight the Taliban in another country to want to kill you. We're not telling you that if you're not successful, we'll find your body someplace and we'll send you back to your parents. We're telling you if you're successful, you're going to have a hell of a lot of fun. Might make you better workers, might not. It's irrelevant. But you're going to have the part of life that is worth living. They say rich or poor has no difference how well you can enjoy sex. Mind you, when you're rich, you can buy any bitch you want. That's the reality. The starts like this. Rock stars, millionaires, they get what they want. Because I still, in a way, in my heart, still believe every woman is a hooker. They want to hook a guy. They have more than just sex on their mind. How to keep a conversation going? Honesty. Honesty doesn't mean you have to tell them everything. You have to, you know, you're a spy and you got to tell them all the secrets of the country and get hung after. No. Honesty means if you're something you don't feel comfortable telling them, say there's something I don't feel comfortable telling you. By doing that, you'll find they get a respect for you, because no guy is doing that. And you know by the questions they ask you, you know what they want to hear for the answer. You're not children. You're not 5 years old. You've all been there before, even the 20-year-old guys. The girl asks them questions, they know what they're leading on to. Do you only want me for sex? Yeah. No, oh no. Oh, no. That's the last thing I was thinking about. The absolute last. First, I wanted to know if you want to be Madame Curie and discover penicillin all over again. then I want to know if you want to be the one that carried the flag in the States. What's her name that sewed the flag? Betty Ross. Okay. And then, if you're really good, I'll let you be Joan of Arc and we'll burn the bitch. The fuck is wrong with you guys? You know what I mean? Reality's there. The conversation, say what, be outrageous. Tell me I like you more.
Cocky and funny.
I want to tell you something. I once had a secretary working for me. She was huge. Huge. I couldn't give her a lift home. She could never have gotten in my car. Oh my God. My secretary went away for a while and I hired a temp. She was a very good secretary, but she was huge. My dad came over to my office and I said, come, we'll go for lunch. So she had ordered an extra large pizza and put it on her desk, an extra large. So my dad thought I had ordered lunch in, so he went to get a slice and she yelled at him, it's mine! She ate a whole extra large pizza by herself at lunch. So at night, I said to my dad, I said, maybe I'll take the small truck home tonight. I'll give her a lift, because I could only get her in the Suburban. I couldn't get her in my car. So I go to her and I say, can I offer you a lift home? The last thing I would have thought in my life that she has a boyfriend. She says, no, my boyfriend's coming to get me. You have a boyfriend? And yeah, she had a good-looking boyfriend. He liked her. My father-in-law has a good saying. It's a European saying. And he says, there's a top for every pot. What he liked, this guy I didn't like. I'll tell you when in the next book, or the next, I'll tell you the story about me with a fat broad. It's a whole, I tried everything. Are we? What's that?
Keep going.
Okay. And the key to all this is we're all sensitive and afraid of being rejected. We're afraid of them telling us, I don't like you, you're too fat, you're too black, you're too white, you're too pink, you're too green, you're too short, you're too skinny. It's bullshit. Doesn't mean anything, okay? Clifford sends me this thing in the mail about this, where you go on the computer and you put a profile on and you get dates and stuff like that. So I put on a profile, and and these women, and all I did was honest, my MO, honesty, trust, and respect, and I want kinky sex and all, you know, everything but, I didn't want the gay sex, and I get every couple of days on my email comes in, I start laughing. And I look at these women, they give pictures of themselves, good-looking women, and you read what they look. Most of them say any kind of guy, big, skinny, some say slim, some say tall, but the majority, I would say 80% or more, they don't care. They want a guy. Wild sex. They're married, what's that one when they, discreet.
Yes.
You know when it says discreet, that somebody's got a relationship going, they're cheating on their husband or something. And it doesn't stop coming in. Women are very horny out there. Now there's a lot of different kinds of women. A lot of women who don't get horny. A A lot of women, I would say, now I found this statistic hard to believe when I was younger, but as I got older, I started believing it more. They say that over 80% of the women never achieve an orgasm. And that a lot of women fake it just to make the guy feel good. I can live with that. I don't care. I can't control them. If you think you're going to be Mr. Stud, the best guy in the world, you're living an illusion. You might make one woman feel fantastic and the other woman don't even turn her on. They say sex is 80% mental, 20% physical. It's our own fantasies. They say with the woman, it's 90% mental and 10% physical. I went out with one girl. She was 32 years old. I mean, I think somebody here knows the story already. We get in bed, we're having a great time. She says to me, I just want to tell you something. I'm giving you something very special tonight. I go, yeah. I'm giving just as much as no, but I'm a virgin. Oh, I got up and I got dressed and I got the fuck out of there. She's, why? What's wrong with it? I go, you think it's worth so much and you've been saving it so long, give it to somebody else. I'm not worthy of it. It's a big responsibility. They think it's worth so much. 32 years old. I had a couple of Klingons come after me. I was stalked by these broads. Yeah, you got, you know, so the old story, be careful what you wish for. You might get it. You have to be careful. They're all not dealing with you on the same level ground you are. There's a lot more ulterior motives that they want. There's a lot of pressure with women, I would say after 25 to 30, that age group in there, 30, maybe 35, I don't know, if they're not married, a lot of their friends and family go, what's wrong with you? Hey, you're not married, you're 27 and you're not married, or you're 31, what's wrong with you? You know? So now, those women are on the prowl, you know? Like with the Y stick looking for water. Single guy, take him, don't matter. And I could do an experiment in here, you probably all like it. Get a medium broad in here and she grab each one of your dicks, and I'd like to see the guy who didn't get a hard on. Just proves one thing. Guys are pigs. You think dirty for a second, you'll get a hard on. So I got some fabulous stuff, and I'm only going to tell you guys this, but you name your penis. Girls all name their breasts. I know I had the best name for my penis. I named him Better. I could teach girls how to kiss better, how to suck better, how to fuck better, how to eat better, how to drink better. Want to play better? It's the illusion you give out. Girl would ask me, how good are you in bed? And I go, you're making a mistake to ask me for my recommendation. The best! Well, oh no, I'm really not fucking good. Well, who's gonna say that? Like you go
Say
to,
that though, doesn't it? Don't
you go to a restaurant and you say, what's really good here on the menu? She should say everything, which means fuck you. You saw what I said today. If I was your boyfriend who you really liked, what would you want me to eat here? What would you recommend for me to eat here? She chose 2 things, I think, eh?
The pizza.
Yeah, I had one of them. And it was very, you had it too, didn't you? It was very good, wasn't it? What's good here? What would you say? You work in a restaurant, everything. Nah, shit, here goes right across the street, it's really good over there. Who's gonna say that? But people walk in all the time, well, what's good here? You're not gonna get the real answer.
Say something. You said.
So quiet in here now.
The old I have a boyfriend line.
Listen, I'll ask you a question. You have a girlfriend, let's say, right? You're really happy with her. You're not building a harem like I was, okay? Because when they asked me if I had a girlfriend, I said, yeah, why are you doing out? I'm building my harem, what do you want? They never believe me, okay? But you have a girlfriend, you're happy with her. You're not gonna be out looking for another girl, ordinarily. You'll wait till that relationship's over. I did that too when I was younger. You'd have one girl, you'd spend a lot of time with her. Between school or just starting to work, you don't have that much time to start hunting pussy as your main hobby. So, if she's out, she's telling you she has a boyfriend, say, fine, I got an ex-girlfriend to do some too. What are you gonna, who the fuck cares? And is it true? Are you sure it's true? Are you sure it's true? Is that not a line that if you were a girl and you didn't want to be bothered by this guy, or you wanted to see if this guy would be persistent, or you wanted to have...
Most of the time I think it's fake, but occasionally they'll say, gee, you're really great, but I'm seeing this guy, so.
I can answer you very easily. I don't want to insult you, because if I insult you, it's like you've been here all day and you didn't listen to anything I told you. I'm only going to tell you this. What does that mean? Number one, right? Again, you're listening to what they say. You got a boyfriend, okay. So fine.
I'm just trying to think of what are good.
Yeah, but you're trying to think of what they're gonna say. But that's what I'm saying to you. That's the first thing you gotta forget. And it's the first thing you remember. That's where the tough time comes in. I'm giving you the answer that Clifford doesn't have the luxury of getting. Him I usually tell, shut up, number one, fuck off. Okay, I'm giving the answer because, I'm giving you a break here. It all comes back, like I said at the beginning, it all comes back to number one. Don't listen to what they say. Every time you're having problems, what happens? You're listening to what they're saying. If you listen to what they say, you're going to have problems. You got to go. I didn't give you 10 rules. See, sometimes I think if I make up 10 rules, it'll be easier. Well, I only forgot one rule. You got 2 rules, and you're forgetting one rule. Hey, give me a break here. If you were in school, and these guys know, if you were in university, what would your professor tell you? Yo, you guys are in deep shit. You can only get 50%, no matter how hard you try.
So you suggest that he ignores the whole thing about the boyfriend and...
You are going to answer like Clifford in a minute. You've heard it enough times too.
Something and not responding to something else.
No, I'm answering the same thing he's asking. You see, you're making, he's listening to what they're saying. Who cares? They say they have a boyfriend. Who gives a shit? Why are they out in the bar if they're in a bar having a boyfriend? If they're in the street and you start talking to girls, she says, oh, I'm sorry, I got a boyfriend. Okay, she got a, go by. It depends where. I'm not saying, no, she's lying to you. I'm saying it depends the situation. I understood, as you said, if you're in a club or you're in that kind of situation, she says, oh, I have a boyfriend. Are they telling the truth? I don't know if they're telling the truth. I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt because they shouldn't be there if they have a boyfriend. Right?
Or you should be there with them or something.
Or they ain't that happy with their boyfriend if they're there. So what are they telling me? I'll fuck you if you're better than my boyfriend? Ask him. Are you telling me you'll fuck me if I'm better than your boyfriend? I am.
I had something really wild yesterday.
But that's what I'm saying to you. You're listening to what they say gets you in trouble. Continue with what you know what you got to do. Don't listen to what they're saying. You're not going to benefit from it. They know not to listen to what you're saying.
Let her make that choice. Just keep doing your thing.
If you could get their number, okay, and then say you're running a survey, you want to know, and you'd ask her 20 questions. You write down the 20 questions. The next day when you speak to her again, ask her what you answered for all those 20 questions. She won't get one right because she didn't care what you said. You think they listen to what you say? I'm the only one who listens to what you say. And I'm telling you, don't say it. They don't care what you say. They're brought up and trained like that. If you had a daughter, what would you tell her? She's going out with guys. Don't listen to what the guys tell you. They'll tell you anything to get you in bed. What, you've never heard that one before? You wouldn't tell your sister, your daughter, hey?
True.
How old's your mother? Still alive?
Yes, but I don't know how it's.
Is your father still alive? Okay, let's say your parents, you lost your father and your mother wanted to start dating and she came to you and said, I'm going to start dating again. I need to have a man for, what would you tell her? Be careful what they tell you. It's the first thing you tell her.
Right, true.
So,
I can't argue to that.
yeah, so you tell, and you're worried about what they're going to tell you. They know not to listen to you.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's only a one-sided thing. You know, you guys, you're the guys, and I'm talking to the guys right now. And that's what I said to Clifford. He gets me on one of these shows, Oprah and all this, and they want to take me apart because I'm taking only the men's point of view. I'm not saying it's only the men's point of view. I'm saying you guys want women. Here's what I say to try to get women. They're trained, and they're better trained than you guys are, and that you guys know.
Yep.
Hey, all of you are going to agree. They got better training than all you guys got. They can manipulate and get what they want easily. Here I'm trying to give you the training back. You're in flight school, you know. You're going to go on a sortie. You're going to go on a mission. You don't realize what the enemy is. You want to be shot down? You'll be shot down. You for sure. I hate flying on your plane, that's for sure. It's down already. You won't get off the ground. You're ready. Oh, a plane's coming. Wait a second. I'm not flying yet. Don't shoot. You're already dead before you even start. You're trying to think about, well, the ones I don't like me, and the ones I like don't like me, and I don't know what to do.
I think we make it so overly complicated.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say to you.
Yesterday I had a great success because I decided I had a lot of information. I went through a couple of things I was going to try. Then I might start to overload my brain, and I said, okay, that's enough. That's way too much. I'm just going to keep it simple. And then the evening went very well, just because I kept it very, very simple.
It's not complicated. That's why I said, I give you 2 rules. You can't listen to what they're saying. Go with what your agenda is. You're not going to have a problem. You're presuming, because you're listening to what they're saying. What if she says she's got a boyfriend?
So just ignore it and just keep talking.
Depends the mood you're in. I might tell her, you know, I didn't tell you, but he told me to come pick you up. I think you're finished with him. Fuck. You know,
Or boyfriends.
depends. If they'd hit me with that line, they'd get hit with lines back. I don't, you know, gonna play stupid games. I can play stupid games.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
What's his name, your boyfriend? Oh, yeah, that was him who talked to me. That's right. But he told me you don't like to get eaten. And maybe he hasn't done it right. I would put her off right away, like, okay? Take the initiative. Well, you know, how can she win with me? I'll tell you, she ain't gonna win with me. I don't care what she says. Like I said, if you know what? It's like you play dodgeball. You know, you're there. Tennis, you're waiting for the ball, or you're waiting for the ball. You're waiting for the ball like that, you're gonna get punked in the head. When you're looking at the ball, you're ready for it. Chunk, boom, missed you. Same thing, I got a boyfriend. Hey, that's too bad. Are you cheating on him, or you just want to cheat on him? You know what? Oh, I wouldn't cheat on a boyfriend. Well, you started already. I've had sex with you. No, I haven't. Oh, not in my mind. Look the way you're dressed. You know, there's 1,000 ways for me to dissipate it. Like I say, I hope for their sake they don't come up with those kind of lines on me. They usually don't. So I don't get that kind of stuff when I talk to women, as you saw at lunch. If she could have said to me, I'm married, I have a husband, I have a boyfriend. It's easy stop. If you meant stop, say stop. You don't need to tell me you have a boyfriend. Again, you don't want to play those games. You come back to the basics. You come back to what you say your MO is. Stick to it. It's not hard. Stick to it. You like to have structure? I don't play games. You have a boyfriend, so why are you talking to me? So you're the typical kind of girl that says she doesn't play games, and you're playing games. Bye-bye. She's gonna feel like an idiot.
That's very, because it's hell unexpected for her.
Honesty, trust, and respect. How honest could she be if she's got a boyfriend? When did she tell you she had a boyfriend? At the beginning? Okay. Does that mean stop? Because if it really means stop, you just could have said stop to me. I respect people. Different impression. If she's with a friend, her friend's going to listen to that and say, you know, I like this guy already. Maybe she's just saying that.
I usually hear it after she agrees to go out on a date, and then she'll say, she'll drop, oh, and my boyfriend does such and such or whatever.
Oh.
So it's an obvious, like, mind game. I'm just trying to think of what's a good spin to really do the entrapment thing. That's kind of weird.
See, if they bring in the boyfriend, there's so many things you can do, depending how you want to shock her, you want to, you know, does he like to watch? Fuck, you know, I don't, you know what? Like I say, I'm relentless. I go after my goal. I don't give a shit. If she had a boyfriend after she's agreed to go on a date with me, well, then I know she's a slut. I promise I won't call him up. Make you feel better? I don't kiss and tell. You know, there's 100 ways. You listen to the line she's giving you, and listen to the context you're having the conversation with. And yeah, okay. I guess you don't play games and you are honest with everybody. I mean, listen to what, if you bring down the ground rules, like I said, honesty, trust, and respect. You go back to, you really don't care what they say. They could say that to put you off, just to give you a test. See, a lot of times when I used to tell them, I want to see my kids, I had a lot of toys in the old days. I had motorcycles and sports cars and, boat and stuff like that. So sometimes I take them to my garage and show them my cars, and these are my kids. Oh. Take them for a drive. Come, I want to introduce you to my kids. That's what I would do. Put them off. They'd like be not knowing how to handle it. And that's what you want to do. You want to be different. You don't want to lie. And look, a boyfriend is a boyfriend. Presume that they're saying a boyfriend, like she's a girl and she's your friend. But remember, never agree to be friends.
Yeah, that's an interesting rule.
Yeah. JD.
I sometimes tell them my spectrum of friends is full right now, and I don't have room for anybody else, and I take friendship too seriously. To have a good friend, you have to be a good friend. I don't know if you can be a good friend. I know you'll have a good friend. That's my best line on friends, when they say friends. So my spectrum of friends is full. They can't be your friend.
Did someone mention something about flaking at the beginning?
About what?
Flaking.
Well, yeah, I did.
You did that.
About
Flaking, not returning phone calls, not showing up at the date.
dump it. You know what? If they're doing that to you, they're being disrespectful. You don't want that. And you, like I said, it's the same thing with the poking of the pencil.
Yeah.
They do it once, they'll do it twice.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, it's an interesting statistic that you hear a lot. Women that have been abused by men end up going back for more and more and more.
All the time.
Okay? And it's never once that they're abused.
It's a pattern.
It's, you set a precedence. If I had a daughter and her husband whacked her out once, it'd be the only time. If she goes back, she's gonna go back once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. She'll keep going back. There'll be no stopping it.
So when you were really young, when you started off this game, approaching a lot of women, what was it like? Because I figured that's the stage in which I am in right now. Even though I have no problem approaching women, I just stall sometimes. Can't follow through with the thing. I can get their attention. It goes very well at the beginning, but just the final stages when I can't seem to close it very well. So it's hit and miss. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it isn't. You just think I need more practice, do it more often.
See, I don't know what kind of particular problems you're having and why are you having these problems. You should be able to, maybe you're not leading them to the right conclusions. Maybe you're just, maybe you're just being their friend. You don't want to be their friend. Maybe you're, like how many dates you go out with them. You got to set a set of rules. You got to, you want parameters. You want to set it, okay. And it doesn't matter to tell them, hey, there's only 3 strikes. If you don't go with them, you don't sleep with them the first and second date, it's over. You're gonna go to the third date and tell, and if you feel that it ain't gonna happen, say, call up and cancel. Say, you know what, I feel this isn't going the way I want it to go, I'm gonna cancel the date.
What about just the pickup aspect?
What's that?
What about just approaching and picking up?
Approaching them and,
Like, what is the best way to close it? So I've been thinking about different structures to use.
yeah, you see, you have to understand that the more you don't allude to sex, the harder it is to close.
Yeah, that's true.
If you try to be,
Buddy.
yeah, or you try to be the Pope, you know, or Father Johnson, it's harder to close.
So you're saying a lot of sexual.
Yeah, because that's what you want. You know, listen, you ain't gonna go get plumbing parts in an ice cream store. You know, you talk about sex because that's what you want. You allude to it because that's what you want.
Look at them a certain way.
You look at them, you intimidate them, you fantasize with them, about them, you let them know what you think and what you want.
What do you mean by intimidate them? Let them know that you're completely in control?
Yeah, you have to have control, and to get control you have to make them always, you know, look at you, and you're looking at them and know what you want. So you have to get in those conversations when they say, I know what you want, and go, thank God. Okay? Thank God you're a rocket scientist. You know what I want. That was real hard to figure out. I wouldn't be on the third date if I wouldn't, by the third date, you know, I'll tell you, the only time I ever broke that rule on 3 dates, no sex, was my current wife. Okay? On the third date, there was no sex. I said, goodbye. She says, are you going to see me again? I go, no. She said, is that because of your rule? I go, yeah. She says, you're really going to take a chance? I go, goodbye. I left. She chased after me down the street. She almost dragged me out of my car back to her house to fuck her that night. Because she knew that it wouldn't have been that night, it would have been never. I wouldn't have talked to her again. I wouldn't have wasted my time. And I definitely believe, as happy as I am with her and my family, that there would have been another one just as good or just the same or whatever, because I created what I want.
Yeah, that's a fantastic mindset.
You got to give yourself the parameters. You said you want the parameters. You're not going to talk about fishing and Mount Kilimanjaro and what the weather's like if you want to fuck this broad. She's getting dressed up. You're losing the whole context of everything. She's getting dressed up to make herself as sexy and good looking as possible. What is that? She wants to discuss the world events with you.
That's a good point. So on that topic,
Yeah, you tell them, you know, you look fantastic. You turn me on. That's why I say when you look at them, if she turned you on, that you approached her, tell her why. What's in your mind? When I'm saying what you're thinking about is not, should I talk about sex or shouldn't I talk about sex? No, you shouldn't think about that. That's not what you're thinking about. When you saw her, it's like when he says, approach a woman. What do you look, what is she? You know, maybe I'm going to need some models the next time around. I'm going to get them to say, what are you turned on about? What turns you on with this girl or that girl? If you see what turns you on, yeah, go after it and tell her. Listen, I want to tell you something. Where'd you get a haircut? In Toronto, in Montreal, the States, where?
In the States.
You go to the same guy all the time or just try to?
Try a different place.
You like this haircut you got last time?
I really like it. Yeah.
You really like it? And if a girl came up to you and said, geez, I like your haircut, would you feel good?
I suppose, yeah, she complimented me on my choice.
Okay. Hey. Grow some tits and I'll sure fuck you tonight. That's what I'm saying to you. Here. You got a haircut. I picked up your haircut.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay? Yeah, hey, I like your jacket. Where'd you get that jacket? Nice jacket.
Goth boutique.
Yeah, good. Did you choose that by yourself or you had him get it for you? You know? Try that. You know, I mean, it's the same thing. She got dressed up. She did her hair. She did her nails. I like that nail polish. You must be something special because I don't think there'd be a girl on this planet who'd wear that nail polish. Positive or not, you try to give her a positive reinforcement. She's gutsy. She's good looking. Do you have to wear a bra or your boobs are like that all the time?
Wow, that's very bold. That's very bold.
If they're perky with their nipples going up like this, that's the question I'm asking. Can I hang my jacket on one while I play with the other one?
Have you actually ever asked that?
Yeah, what's the difference? What are they gonna do? They're gonna think you're a pervert? Hello, I am.
That's great.
That's what I tell them. I don't deny anything. I never deny anything they ask me. They accuse me of anything. Are you a pervert? Yes. You heard me say that before. I don't change my MO. She tried in the restaurant to talk about cooking. I brought it back to sex every time. That's it. That's all I care about.
That's good.
Doesn't matter. You understand? If you're asking, you're going out with her the third time and she doesn't think you want her for sex, and how are you going to approach her? You shouldn't have a problem closing. I would tell her the second date, you know, this is the second date. If I don't make it tonight, you only have one more chance.
Wow.
Why not? What are you playing games with? What do you have, 50 years?
You're absolutely right.
You don't have time to fuck around with this shit. You know, you're out. You know, in a city like Montreal, if I came into a city like Montreal, I don't got time to wait to see if I get one 2 days later. Give me your room number. I'm knocking on the door. I'm not calling her on the phone. Can I come over? I'm there. I don't ask her for the phone number. That's where she works. I know she'll be there tomorrow at that time. What time do you finish tomorrow night? Great. Let me take you out for supper. Or maybe I'll come eat there and we'll leave right after I finish. All depends the mood you're in. You've got to control, and you got to be honest what you want. What does he want from me? You know, these guys go to school together, and if one guy wants some homework done or help with something, he doesn't go in and start talking about his grandmother for 2 hours. He says, hey, can you help me with this and get it done? You're going to say yes or no. If he says no, he'll go to another friend to ask him for help. As we get older, we forget to do that shit.
That's true.
Oh, I don't know how to approach them. I learned a long time ago, don't ask him to approach her or him. Go do it yourself. You'll get your right answer right away, yes or no. Are you interested in me sexually? No. You have a friend? That's all. Go on with it. What do you need him for? You got an itchy back, buy a back scratcher for $1. You want a fabulous cook? Ask her to bring a resume. You meet somebody, it's visual first. Regrettably, that's visual first. She turned you on. Why? There's 1,000 women out there, millions, gazillions, will turn you on and not him. What Clifford might like, you don't like. You don't go into a bar and every guy's killing each other for one girl. Lots of women there. You go to a supermarket. You can look at the basket and see if they're single just by what they're buying. It's very easy. It's a good place. I used to pick up a lot of women in a supermarket because you could see right what they're buying. Walk around with a case of condoms in your basket. Cucumbers and condoms. Looking for a date tonight. You know, you got any friends? You gotta, like I say, you gotta tell them what you want. I mean, on the third date, let me ask you, you really think on the third date a woman doesn't know that you're hanging around for pussy? She's that pure. I remember, I said to my father once, I said to him, this was really funny because my dad was more of a prude than I was, okay? I said to him once, oh, she's not that kind of girl. He goes, what? And then when I got back, I took her to New York with me. When I got back, she had her head underneath the steering wheel all the way back from New York. I said to my dad, you know, it was funny. I didn't think she was that kind of girl, but she was. Yeah, I wised up too. I was there too. I was closer to their age. I thought there were some girls who were just so pure. Angelic. They were the worst sluts. Any more questions? Anything you need to?
Want to break for an hour, a quick bite, and come back at 7?
It's up to you.
How's that sound?
Reasonable.
And it's a funny thing. When I started fucking the girls in high school, there wasn't many guys who would be fucking them. The girls were my best leads. None of the guys knew what I was doing. It was the girls. But that's what started me on the hunt. And it's not easy.
That was still a social circle, right? Not a real hunt to go out and picking up.
It's a social circle. It's not, you can't go pick up when you're 13, 14, 15 years old. Yeah, in high school it was too. It was at 16 and 17, meeting girls, you know, you're fucking around with them for months and you're not getting the first base with them. And then you hear of one that's really loose and you try to go after her. You know, anybody that would even sound like they had a bad reputation, she's mine, you know? That's how way it starts. And then at 17, it was getting harder. Not easier, harder. So I started to realize it's not there that I'm gonna get the women I want. It's out here. So I started going to Belmont Park. And those girls, I started working at a gas station when I was 17. And the guy at the gas station was a French-Canadian fellow, and he says, come to my house tonight. We're having a little bit of a party. He just had gotten married. He was a mechanic there, he was older. So I go there, and sexuality was very open. It's the French-Canadian way. It's a lot more open, a lot more exposed. It's not as tight ass as it is in Ontario, you know. It's, and I see his wife's sister's hot. So I tell him, man, he introduced me to her. He says, just go over and talk to her. She likes you. My wife told me your sister likes you. So I start talking to her. I start going out with her. Okay, I take her out. I go to pick her up. The second time I'm taking her out, she's coming to my room, let's fuck. fuck? Your father's sitting there on the sofa having a beer watching a hockey game. Your mother's in there doing some laundry or something, and you want me to go in there and fuck you with your parents right here? Are you crazy? She goes, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, what inhibitions do I have? I said, no, let's go. We'll go to a motel, you know. We'll go to Saint Jacques. And not only that, she lived on Delormier. So to go to Saint Jacques is another. Like, I did a lot of traveling when I was a kid that I didn't need to do. So I'm standing there in the living room, and her father's there drinking beer, watching the hockey game. And I'm waiting for her to get dressed, and her father looks at me and says, you like my daughter? I go, yeah. He says, she fucks good, eh? Oh, I fucking must have gone 3 shades of white. Like, what's he, I like, do I move? Do I breathe? What's he thinking? If I say yeah, he's gonna beat the shit out of me, or what, you know? Who the fuck knows? And I'm there like, she comes out and says, let's go. And I'm like, I'm begging her to drag me out of the house. Like, in my mind, I can't say a word. I don't know what to say. I'm like...
You think it's a trap, yeah.
So he looks at me. He goes, oh, you're going out? Her mother sucks better than her. She has no teeth.
It sounds like he did his own daughter. I don't know.
No, it's the sexuality. Then I got invited. I went out with her for a while because she was hot. We went to a party in their house, and the grandmother, okay, is being rubbed up by the priest, the local priest in the area. And I'm going, what the fuck is going on here? And they're all laughing at me because I'm like this prude. And the grandmother says to me, says, go into my bedroom, listen to this, and get me the Virgin Mary from my bureau. Now, I'm Jewish. I don't know too much about Virgin Mary and stuff like this, and I was 17 years old at that time. What the fuck is going on? I go in there. I see there's one Virgin Mary. So I pick it up, okay, on the bureau, and I'm bringing it into the living room. They're all laughing hysterically. You see, because one side was a Virgin Mary, the other side was a dildo. They're making a joke because I'm so naive, and they tell me the priest and her, that's his girlfriend, her grandmother. Sexuality is very open with French. You're French Canadian, part. You know it.
I just hang around.
We used to watch, when we were younger here, there'd be like, we used to call them fins. And I'll tell you, you're gonna like this. You know what a fin is? A fin was before you get porno movies on TV. When we were younger, you'd get a French Canadian movie, and they'd show tits and ass and stuff like that. The fins where we'd watch the movie all night, not understanding a word, and when you see fin at the end, you know you got fucked. Because you never know when the sexy part is coming. So you used to say, hey, I watched a fin last night.
I get it, yeah.
You understand?
Fang, which means end.
Yeah, which means end, fang, which means end. So, but we'd watch the French channels because it was always CBC is CBC. You know CBC all over Canada. Okay? You never saw a tit in CBC. And in the French, and the Canadian, the French CBC was CBC, but the French version was so much more open. Sexuality with French Canadians is much more open. The joie de vivre. They don't look at sex. It's not a taboo thing to go and have the daughter screwing her boyfriend. It's normal. Our inhibitions are because of Mormons and Baptists.
Monarchy.
You know, the monarchy. Well, depends which monarchy.
The English monarchy.
Not really. You see, a lot. That's a lot as a myth. In England, you should learn about this history. In England, cocktails started. They'd have orgies before the meal. The English were big on sex orgies. That's what cocktails started. And purse, if you notice, on a ship, the guy who takes care of the money is a purser. And purse was, mainly men wore purses. Women didn't have purses. It changed. It was a male thing. Purse would be where they carried their money. A purser on a ship is still a guy that takes care of the money. Remember, the English were seafaring people before anybody else. And the orgies, the food orgies, you watch sometimes these old English movies, you know, or like swashbucklers, where you see them gorging themselves with, you know, and all women dance. That's what it was. They had a lot of orgies. The Romans too had orgies. That's what it was all about. I mean, what do you think? We're only sexually perverted now? It's Sodom and Gomorrah. They were saying it was too perverted in those days. You have to understand it's how you perceive it. In our society here, in Montreal, it's easier to pick up a French Canadian girl than anywhere else in Canada, because they feel they're picking you up. You know, they love sex, and they like to, you know, it's not just such a taboo thing. It's like, that's why you come to Montreal, it's got to be the greatest city. It's easier to get two girls here to do it than anywhere else practically. Yeah. But it should be no different. Yeah, certain cities and certain things, look, in Dallas, I put an ad in the paper. Before I put an ad in the paper, I went to one of these social clubs where you swap, okay? So when I went there, they said there's only one or two nights a week that I could go because I didn't have a partner. So I'm thinking, oh, I see. You see, if you have a partner, you can go there and you can. Wow. So I said, okay. So I went one night where I didn't have a partner and met one of these single girls and says, listen, why don't we partner up together? We can come all the time. Oh, great. But then a lot of the couples that came in, I would rather wait for the single night. Yeah. And a lot of these guys, that's what struck me as the worst. Most of the guys that came for that were really coupled enjoyed watching somebody fuck their wife more than anything else. You know? And after a while, I felt like, ooh, you know, get out of here. You know, he's jerking off while I'm fucking his wife. You know, fuck her harder. He's giving instructions. Shut up. You know? But it depends what you want to go in for. And like I said, today, I don't know. Today, what happens is guys like me, when the AIDS things came out, they either go two-way. They don't give a shit, or they become like me, and I'd make every fucking girl test herself. You know, I got super paranoid. Had a condom on me all the time. I'm not on me, but on, like, you know. But like, I got really paranoid with it. It was like, you know, it's like, it's what happened, because remember, I went from one time where it was so open. That good friend of mine who's a surgeon, the reason I got friendly with him was because I used to have these big weekends where I have an orgy, and I go in there and I tell them, you know what, give me a penicillin shot just in case. I don't know who was there, what was going on. There was so many, I lost track. You know, we didn't wear any condoms at all in those days. So he used to say, and one day he said to me, I can't give you any more penicillin for a while, you're gonna have a allergic reaction. So we used to joke about that, and then he used to say I'm the guy with the most penicillin he's ever given to in his life, you know. And I used to bring up a couple of girls for abortions with him too, you know. So he knew how promiscuous I was.
These orgies were organized by you? You set it up?
Some. I had some friends that set some up too, and everything you see, I've lived every fantasy. I even made my own. I didn't make a porn movie, okay, because video cameras in those days weren't really, you know. But I took plenty of shots with my still camera on with the timer.
Okay.
Okay.
What happened was, when I was going through my divorce, I took so many pictures that when she put like M for her initial with my last name, they thought it was Mr. and they sent a lot of that, because in those days you couldn't get film developed here in a Photoshop. You could only get it done in one of these places. One place was in Saskatchewan, One Right Photo Labs. You know, get that stuff in. And they sent it to her house and the forwarding of the mail, and the divorce cost me a lot more, but that's another story. But I still kept enough to make myself an album for memory, you know, of the world. And I like the pictures of me fucking 2 broads. I've got plenty of those, and you know, it's not like, that's like what Clifford used to come over and, you know, look at, and I have it in my house, and what happens if your wife doesn't like it? I go, pardon me? It's mine, not hers. She wants to look at it, she's welcome to. It's my life. It's part of what I've lived into. There's about 300 shots missing that my ex-wife got. Well, I don't know if she kept them or not. It's irrelevant. But that's the reality. I mean, it depends what you want to do. And see, like I say, going back to Clifford with that friend of his, I'm not saying he doesn't know where he's wrong, but you know, as you get older, you find out the guys that would brag a lot. It's like the certain people I met in this industry. Some of them I feel, and I think I've got a good gut feeling about people. Some of them I feel, yeah, the guy's a player. And the other one I go, this guy ain't getting laid. He's getting laid less than you. She's talking up a good storm. Maybe what he wants to do. So I don't think you need a system where you have to follow guidelines. I think basically what you need to find is a way to retrain yourself on only one rule. When you stop caring about what they say, and I'm not saying it to be derogatory to put women down, because when you meet a nice woman, you spend a nice time with her. I'm not telling you to be rude to her, be rough with her, to treat her like shit, or to... No, on the contrary. I'm saying, don't listen to what they say because you don't know if they're being honest yet. When you feel they're honest, you can change your relationship or adapt it to the way you want. If you feel this is going to be the good enough woman to be mother of the children you want or you don't want, or it's good enough to add to your harem, or it's good enough to become a friend, and a friend you can fuck. There's nothing wrong with that. It's you have to direct what you want. I've had all of the above. But I know how many have lied to me, and how many have told me stupid stories, how many have told me things that aren't true, or about their boyfriends, you know. Listen. I heard a guy tell me a story, and the second woman that he went out with, or one of the women after that, almost the same story. And I told him right away, it's bullshit. And he goes, no. Then he finds out I was right. Well, I don't fucking want to hear I was right, or I don't want to say I told you so. I know I'm right, because it's easier to overlook a situation when you're not involved. When I'm watching what you do or what you tell me with the woman, it's easy for me to direct you because I know what you're doing wrong before you start. Yeah, you can go to advanced stuff, and on advanced stuff, I'm telling you, I got fantastic systems that you'll really score with. But it all depends what you want to do. Advanced stuff is more logistics. You go out with a woman and you want to go out with 2 of her friends. Look, and I'm not saying I'm always successful. I was going out with this gorgeous girl. Advice like I gave him. I was fucking her, and I was fucking 2 of her sisters. She said to me one day, are you cruising all my sisters? And I said, I'd like to. They're all gorgeous. And she was the best looking bar none. She won awards for that. But the other sister was better in bed by, it was like, now I figured, one has brought me a friend for me for my birthday. They both were scoffing my dick and licking my asshole. And the other one is talking up a good storm. She's her sister. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm smart. I are smart. I are smart. How about both you 2 sisters together? I should have put a hand grenade in my pants. Would have been better. They both, that's it, over. They would both fuck me with another broad, but not the 2 sisters together. That was like, whoa. When she found out I was fucking her sister, she says, my sister goes after every one of my boyfriends. I don't know if I fucked her because I was so good or she was just doing what she said, what she was always doing. But I didn't care, I was enjoying it. But then I opened my big, fucking stupid mouth and I lost both. And nothing I could do to retrieve it. I tried as soon as I apologized, I got in worse shape.
That's it, yeah. That's
It's like the harem. Oh, I was going good. I had 4 almost perfect women in the harem. I would literally fuck 6 nights a week with the 4 of them, and 1 night for looking for another one in case I'd lose the harem going on, okay? They'd all cook for me. The relationships cost me nothing, low maintenance. And then Christmas came.
tell us this story. This is good.
So I did my standard Christmas cards. Best gift, a lotto ticket.
Oh, really?
Sure, because if you win, you win. If you don't, well, it's a lotto ticket. What's the big deal? Not too much, not too little. That's what I liked. And then what happens? Okay, I gotta be with my family Christmas.
That works.
Not when you're Jewish.
Oh, yeah, that's it, too.
But you convince 1 or 2 of them, yeah, okay, I'll be with 1 of them Christmas. Then New Year's. New Year's is heavy.
Friends, you can be with your male buddies, no?
Yeah, right. You care a lot about me, and especially when they know that you said you have other girlfriends.
That's it.
You see, the honesty part comes to bite you in the ass. Who are you going to be with New Year's? Me?
One of the others.
Oh, I haven't decided yet. That's not good either. So what happens New Year's? Usually you lose 1 at Christmas, you lose 1 at New Year's, and you're lucky if you have 1 after Valentine's Day. And it's a very close period of time.
You can always keep adding new ones to your history.
Yeah, but you don't have time at this time of year. You're in deep shit, you know, because Valentine's Day, the ones you're not with on Valentine's, doesn't matter what excuse. And I tried going out of town, I tried all that stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Used to come into spring, into around this time of year, and maybe I'd have 1, or maybe I'd start searching all over again.
I have to rebuild the harem.
Rebuild the harem.
How about trying something like, I was just thinking, if that happens to me, something like